I'd enjoyed exploring Kazakhstan over the past couple of days, but it was time to do something a little less touristy. When I was making my itinerary for this trip to Nur-Sultan, I didn't really consider the football. Now, Kazakhstan's a UEFA Nations member, so I had an inkling of a feeling when I was flying over that there would be a game of football on this weekend. As it turns out, FC Astana are playing tonight, so I'll be heading off to the Astana Arena to go and tick another country off my footballing list. Earlier that day, I'd visited Hazrat Sultan Mosque, then I went to the National Museum of Kazakhstan, where I randomly bumped into Funfalui, which you can find out more about in my last vlog. Then I went back to my hotel and got ready for the game. So I'm off to the arena now. It's about 4 miles away from my hotel, and like I said before, the public transport in Nur-Sultan isn't amazing, so I'm having to order myself a Yandex, which is like their version of Uber. So it's been really good so far, super cheap. It's only going to cost a couple of quid, so yeah, just waiting here now. And yeah, just waiting for my Yandex to come. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go down. The arena was on the other side of the city to where I was staying, but that was okay as I was able to get a mini tour of Nur-Sultan, seeing it from a different perspective. Thank you. And we are here. This is where we buy the tickets from. So I've got my ticket for the big game, Astana versus Taraz. It was only 900 tenge or Kazakh tenge, I don't know how you pronounce their currency, but if we take that on the basis of the currency rate I got yesterday for exchange in pounds, which was £1 to 474 Kazakh, it only cost £1.90 this ticket. Now I know it's not the standard of the Premier League or anything near to that, but you know, I'm still having a day out for less than £2, whilst the Premier League will charge you almost 50. So it just goes to show how overpriced football tickets are in England. It's just absolutely crazy. So I'm sitting there in W. Bring him on.
How many? Вот этот зеленый то, вот этот не видишь? Он, когда темно, он светится.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Давай. Thank you.
Thank you. Спасибо. Let's go. What do you think? Thank you. And that's us. We're in. Up the Astana Blues. Let's hope they play decent football. The ladies on the merch store were dead nice. Didn't know how much it was, and I mean they didn't speak much English, but I was thinking it was going to be 5,000. Gave them about 5,500, and they ended up giving me 2 back. They literally could have kept that, and I would have had no idea. So this was 3,500. So we're looking at £7 maybe for this scarf. At least twice the price in most other European countries. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Yeah. Really impressed with the setup here. They've got a little merchandise stall outside, so especially for foreign visitors, if you want to go and grab something, you can do. I know they've got 2 official club stores in the city, so you can go and buy stuff from there. And they've got a really good selection of food and drink as well. Just simple stuff like hot dogs, sandwiches, crisps, drinks, just what you need for when you come to the football. I think I'm actually supposed to be sitting on the other side of the stadium, but let's do the walk. You ready? this stadium's like so empty. You can just walk literally from stand to stand. So I started off in stand A over there, and I'm walking around stand W, where I'm actually supposed to be sitting, where my seat's assigned to. So yeah, I can literally just walk around the inside of the stadium. As far as stadiums go, this one's pretty damn good, and I know they don't fill it out. It holds around 30,000, I think. For FC Astana games to get around 5,000, but it's also used for the national team, and there's another team in the city called FC Beta, which is the same name as the tower in the city centre. They also use this arena as the home arena, so it's used by more than just FC Astana themselves, but it's fairly modern. I think it was built around 2009, so roughly I'd say probably similar age to Wembley, and it's also the national stadium. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed with what I'm seeing so far. I'm just excited to see the players come out, warm up, and I look forward to the game. Just have a national anthem before kick-off. Players shaking hands, and I think in a few minutes we'll be ready to go. Spotted some away fans in with the home fans, and I mean, in England you could never have that, but despite there being quite a police and army presence, he seemed to allow it here. At half time it's 1-0 to Astana. It could easily be 4-1. The poor finishing is basically meant that this lead isn't any more than a goal. And a little bit of controversy at the end, because it did look like a Taraz player handballed it in the box. Should have been a penalty. I heard a couple of shouts for VAR, but I'm not sure that they do it in this country. Maybe they do, I'm not too certain. A lot of unhappy Astana fans with the referee at the end of the game there, at the end of the half there. So yeah, looking forward to the second half. Hopefully there's a few more goals, a bit more excitement to pick things up. But at the moment, at least it's not 0-0. What a goal that was. The player scored an overhead kick from like the penalty spot, and it was one of them. He kicked it, everyone kind of time froze for a second, and then the ball just ended up in the back of the net. Boss goal. If you've got a chance, check it out on YouTube. Class. I'm guessing red card. I actually missed the incident. I'm guessing it was a bad challenge, judging by the guy's reaction as he walked off the pitch. But yeah, Astana down to 10 men. I don't think it really matters with 20 minutes left. If 3-0 up, we should be able to see this out. Just probably means there won't be too many more goals in this game. And there's been another red card. The Taraz player's been sent off. I don't really know what's happened. It's not being that clear. There's no replays, even though they got big screens. But yeah, 10 men apiece. Good night, Taraz. So it's full time here, 5-0 it finished. The floodgates opened in the second half because pretty much Astana took the chances. There's a bit of a kick-off halfway through. I didn't quite tell, or I couldn't quite tell what happened. There was 2 red cards and there was actually 3. A third one was given, but I think it was given by mistake because the referee meant to pull out his yellow, accidentally pulled out his red. So the player thought he was sent off, but obviously he wasn't. A couple of cracking goals in there, one an overhead kick from the penalty spot. So like I say, I'd really recommend you go on YouTube and have a look at the highlights for this game. I've had a really good time. It's time to get a Yandex back to the hotel, but can't complain. 5 goals for £1.90. What are you saying? Because I had neither data nor Wi-Fi, I had to walk back to a mall in the centre of town so that I could get on the internet and order the Yandex back to my hotel. Well, it's been a great night at the Astana Arena, seeing FC Astana completely demolish Taraz. I mean, you can see why one's now second in the league and the other's 9th. It's a gulfing class from what I'm used to at home, but it was still great to see, you know, a couple of different teams in a different country. I love, you know, comparing and contrasting it against other sort of games I've been to. I think this is something I quite like to do regularly because I don't think a lot of people almost think about going abroad to watch football, but I know how cheap it can be, how cost effective, particularly compared to Premier League prices, and this is another great example. So I'd like to, with this series, maybe start doing some ratings at the end of the videos so we can kind of compare overall. So I've gone for sort of 3 key metrics here. The atmosphere, I've given 3 out of 10. Now, I know that doesn't sound brilliant, but to be honest, it could have been a lot worse. The only reason it's got as high as 3 is because there was 2 sets of, I suppose you call ultras, at either end, and they sang non-stop throughout the game. And the one to the left of me, I think they were, the average age must have been about 15, 16 or something. They were all like, seemed to be quite young teenagers. And, you know, I know it's a fairly new club in the grand scheme of things, it's a new city, but you know, those kids were really giving it a go, so fair play to them, and they've given the atmosphere a couple more points there. It was a bit, I mean, I would guess the attendance was somewhere in the region of 3,000 or 4,000. It's a 30,000 seater stadium, so with 90% of it empty, it can't really get anywhere near high marks for atmosphere, unfortunately. But yeah, 3 out of 10 it got for that. The second metric I've gone for is kind of game day experience. So that's not necessarily anything on the pitch, but it's more all the things they do kind of around the game. So we're talking about pre-game events, music, interaction with fans, little things like match day programs, availability of food and drink, all that kind of stuff. Now, I thought it was really poor on that front, but they're not going to, you know, roll out the red carpet when there's only, say, 2,000 or 3,000 people showing up to each game. So I've gone for a 2 out of 10 on that one. Apart from, you know, turning up and walking into the stadium, there wasn't much else going on. The food and drink availability was decent. I mean, it was hardly gourmet, but it's not really what you need when you go to a football match. There was no alcohol on offer either. And there were some people with programs, but I couldn't find any kind of program vendors or, you know, people handing them out or anything. So not sure how they got a hold of them. But as a whole package, everything outside of the game, it's a little bit lackluster, but hey, they're a country that's, you know, trying to build something with regards to the football program. So I'm not completely shocked that it, you know, wasn't very high. The atmosphere did edge it out by a point. So yeah, game day experience lets it down slightly. And value for money, I've given a 10. I mean, the ticket cost me 900 Kazakh tenge, however you say it, which is equivalent to about £1.90. So per goal, I saw 5 goals in total today. Per goal, we're looking at 38 pence. I mean, you can't really complain about that. You know, you throw in the extra 2 red cards, the accidental sending off. There was a penalty shout. Astana hit the post. There was a bit more goal mouth action other than that. So I can't complain. I mean, the quality wasn't unreal or anything. You know, it wasn't out of this world. But just the actual game itself was really exciting. And considering it cost less than £2, that was unbelievable. So today's cost me in total £15.19. Now, for that, I got taxis to the game each way. So that's 2 taxis, 2 Pepsis, a water, a wristband, a ticket, and a scarf, all for £15.19. In total, that's a 5 out of 10. It's kind of middle of the road. The whole experience hasn't like blown me away or anything, but it was definitely worth going to. I love going to football games when I'm abroad, and I'm so glad Astana are playing tonight, and I've got a chance to go and watch the Kazakh champions in action. So that was really cool. I'd recommend if you're in Astana, there's not a great deal to do. Otherwise, there's a few bits and bobs, but if you're here when the football's on, definitely go down either to watch FC Astana, FC Baytarek, or the Kazakh national team. So really recommend it. Thank you for a great night at Astana. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I'll be back with quite a few more football videos. So cheers, thank you very much. We'll see you next time.